This is the mysterious music of the yield curve. It's a chart that analysts use frequently to predict what might happen to the economy. And it's actually quite a simple chart. The y-axis just shows the interest rate, and the x-axis shows us for each bond what its maturity date is. So on the left-hand side, it can either be very short, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. On the right-hand side, it can be very long dated, up to 30 years. And this yield curve here from 1992 is fairly typical of what you would expect from a regular yield curve, in that it's the longer dated bonds that generate higher returns. The thing is with the yield curve is that these rates change on a daily basis, and so the shape of the yield curve can change. So one of the things that can happen is it can flatten. And so this is the yield curve from 1989, and you can see that actually the yields are very, very uniform. It's a very, very flat yield curve. And this is a sign that people are starting to express uncertainty about what might happen to the economy. And in extreme cases, the yield curve can invert like this. So on the left-hand side now that you'll see, it's the shorter bonds that are generating the higher yields. And these inversions, many analysts consider them very, very important. Every recession in the US since the World War II has been preceded by one of these inversions. But because the yield curve changes on a daily basis, tracking it over time can be difficult. And one of the things that we can do is we can use animation to show us what's happening on a daily basis. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the yield curve to animate from 1979, and you can see that 5 days animating per second here. So we get a sense of how the yield curve changes over time. If I speed that right up, you can see that actually the yield curve is very, very active, particularly at the shorter end of the yields. There's a lot of movement. With the yield curve animating so quickly, it can be difficult to remember how it's travelled over time. So one of the other things that we